I desperately need a 6 on the beach because I'm pretty confident this is the episode I have been dreading the most out of all of them. And yeah, I don't even want to ruin the moment by saying something in my head that's funny, or from my head that's funny, that reads as horrible. Hi, Jack.
I just want to be clear. The episode you've been dreading the most? You? Hi, Alex. Maybe...
We're both allowed to dread the same episode the most, Jack. It is possible.
I'm sure.
We are both, but valid. You bring up valid points. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just revisited the episode right before we got on call. And yeah, I hate this one for obvious reasons. Or obvious to you and me, maybe not obvious to the audience, but I think the audience has a great idea.
I hate this one more because of the screen grabs that people can get. And that's with the ice sucking clip in episode 3. No, this is worse.
I was going to ask. I was like, does it get worse with the ice sucking? Or even worse than the ice sucking? That being said, we definitely need and have to dive in very deep to this episode. But before we do that, I know we have a few people we need to thank.
Yes. So once again, thank you to the Subversion team and Lee in specific for helping us get a StreamYard to use for this. Thank you to Duke and his whole channel in order to allow us to post in a particular place. And then also the Ascendance team for giving us their blessing to do this, and specifically Papa for the graphics. And maybe one other person, because this episode is basically a sponsored episode by some of our lovely, lovely prod team that helped out basically get this off the ground.
I was like, much appreciated, much love to everyone involved. And yeah, I'm excited for this, but I'm also devastated for this. But I can't picture anyone else I'd rather dive into this episode than with you. So I'm happy that we're doing it, even though it breaks both of our hearts. And with that, yeah, I would say let's bring on the eliminated player, but
that's kind of already been done. So
Ta-da.
Instead, let's bring on two people who have helped out so much with this season and also felt really bad when I eventually went home this episode. It is Duke and Rachel.
Yup, that's right, bitches. It's me. I know you're so happy to see me. And I'm so happy.
We're most excited. We're also very, very excited that this episode is sponsored by Safe Driving, as will be evidenced by Rachel. She will be driving safely through this entire call.
Very safely. LRG duties. LRG duties are a real thing, and that's what we're here for.
So yes, we have season 4 alum Miss Rachel, and season 6 prod team goddess, as well as season 5 player Duke, well, who also served on production. I cannot English today. On production for season 6. We are so excited to have you both here. Thank you for both being here.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for inviting me and Rachel on to the podcast. I just want to say that I have been loving your two coverage of the season. It's so fun to watch, the players come on and talk. And I think each week you guys have been getting better and better. So really, really good work from you two.
No, absolutely.
No, stop. No, don't tell me we're doing a good job.
No, we hate.
I will tell you, on my way, I forget if it was this game or my last one, but I sat there and I listened to like 3 of these on my 6-hour drive, and I was so entertained, and it was the episode with the ice block, so that was even better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm officially background noise.
Sure.
Okay, you gotta warn me when you're gonna say something that funny. Shit.
But
thank you both for the accolades. We appreciate it. We do it because we love attention, but mostly do it because we love all of the nonsense that we engage in. And 3 back-to-back episodes, Rachel, your tolerance for pain is legendary. That's
listen.
You gotta have that on 2x speed, I think, maybe.
I had it on 1.5 speed, actually.
There
you go.
I was going to say, the way the Lord intended us to be listened to. Yes.
Literally, that's how I listened to this during editing, so I do not blame you in the slightest.
Not in the least. Well, here, so what did Rachel say?
I said I had to get through all 3 of the ones I missed.
There you go.
So I had to do it on 1.5.
Well, here, just in the end, Jack and I have been trying so hard to get this closer to an hour, as opposed to the 9 hours every episode has turned into. So if everyone is on board and if everyone permits, I would love to dive in with my first question, which is production. You guys get to see so much more than we get to see, and I think that y'all probably have the more exciting vantage point as far as everything. As far as what you remember from being out there and filming, it can be anything, obviously no spoilers, anything leading up to this point. Are there any just monumental moments that you just remember that may not have, that happened in a previous episode or this episode we'll get into, but a previous episode that maybe you're just like, oh my gosh, we need to talk about that briefly.
Rachel, I'll let you take this one.
I'm cooking. You go first.
Well, so for me, I would say I obviously was not on the film squad. I was the person that was setting up the challenges, and then I would just quickly go to the next challenge. But it's been really interesting to kind of see some of the character development this season. Some of the early boots, I think it's been interesting to see how it unfolded, because I didn't get to see much of the strategy. I was always moving from challenge to challenge. And I think myself and Scott have been talking about how it's been kind of a pattern of, a little bit of a crash out, and then the person goes home. So it's been interesting to see some of the character development, some of the ways these people have been going home, some of the patterns. And obviously, I loved, the ice episode was one of my favorites, of course. So much to see from that. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I definitely think, speaking of like the vote outs, specifically for me as a camera operator, one of my favorite things has been kind of connecting with Papa in the kitchen right before the vote out would happen and finding out who's getting votes and who's going home so that I can situate the camera. So I'm making sure I'm capturing a nice close up of how these people are reacting to these things. That has been my favorite thing, and something I'm glad that I was able to kind of add to the season, which was a lot of more close up dynamic type of shots. I wanted to get a more up close and personal type experience with Ascendance rather than just what happened, make it like a story. So definitely getting those emotions from people when they're like sitting in those stupid ass stools that give us all bruises. The emotion, the tense, like that's my favorite part of filming. And I'm so glad that we were able to like really hone in on that.
Also, I'm glad that you were able to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Rachel, quick shout out to Rachel. I mean, on the back end of editing, she has been killing it this season too. So hats off to Rachel for all the stuff she's been doing with the editing. Oh, the hearts. I love this.
I want to say all of the challenge graphics, or at least a strong majority of them, have been you.
They have all been me. All the little animations before any of the challenges, anything from the start of the challenge to the end of the challenge has all been me. And I knew watching the episodes in the past, like it was kind of hard to tell how the challenges go. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to fix that. So I pulled my animation stuff from my animation class back in college and I made it work. And I think the feedback has been great.
Okay, y'all have heard it here first. I did not know that was Rachel. So, like, multifaceted, multi-talented woman. Just, oh my goodness, what can she not do?
Let her cook. Let her cook now.
I sit at that computer and I cook.
Hey, I was
genuinely,
we are eating it up. I live and breathe. Well, thank you both for your perspectives on that. Duke, I don't know why I had it in my head. Like, Alex, when did you ever see Duke holding a camera? So that makes the utmost sense. So I apologize for that.
No, that would be bad if I was holding a camera.
I doubt that. I was like, you're another one where I'm like, they're talented at everything, I'm sure. Oh, so nice. Moving into episode 6, we were saying before y'all jumped into before we brought y'all into the call, how this episode hurt both, obviously Jack more than me, but I still hated this episode, and I do believe it was the one I was dreading the most. So coming off of episode 5, Rachel, did you have any thoughts as far as the Ken elimination as we move into the shenanery that was episode 6? Uh-oh.
Coming eventually. Am I back?
You're
Yes.
back now. Yeah.
Okay, no, it like glitched out for me. I'm back now. Okay. I feel like from a perspective of somebody getting a lot of the tea on the eliminations, I feel like as the rounds went, Ken was more in people's forefront of their minds. Alex, you specifically, after that challenge, the blocks and balance, I felt like something was going to happen because Ken was just kind of just rubbing people the wrong way. So I can't say that elimination shocked me, but it was sad because he was a big presence in the game. Like, he was a character.
No, he definitely was. And we absolutely loved. I don't know if y'all saw the not bloodbath that was Ken and Maddie last week. It was like it felt like a very healing and very therapeutic conversation for really everyone involved. So we love Ken, we love Maddie. And then moving into episode 6, we start off, what was it? I know Stevie mentions losing Ken as a shield. And I found that to be so interesting just because I guess my question for the room at large is, do y'all think that Ken was a shield for Stevie? Because Stevie's already mentioned in multiple rounds how if he keeps winning these competitions, he's going to be looked at as a threat. So I'm just kind of curious at large to the room, or to the room at large. English is fun. What y'all think about that?
I think it's interesting, Alex. I think it's interesting because the episodes up to this point, there's been a narrative of Stevie winning all these competitions, these team challenges, and I don't know, but I haven't really seen much of the episodes showing a relationship between Stevie and Ken. So that was something that I thought was interesting. Him referring to Ken as a shield, where I think a lot of the players would say that Stevie is, at this point, a meat shield for other players from the episodes, at least.
I pretty hard agree with you there, Duke. Hearing that Stevie was using Ken as a meat shield really was just like, I know they were working together. And I mean, Ken was an easy name to throw out if there was ever drama. But if anyone had a shot during any of the previous 5 rounds, or honestly during this round as well, Stevie would have been probably targeted immediately because he had won too much and hadn't really made any connections that he could have proved. So it did confuse me as well, at least during the game. I didn't think that Ken was a shield for Stevie at all.
I think if anything, there's a shot. Like, I could understand the logic that Stevie's like, I'm winning all these competitions. So, if the conversation of comp wins comes up, I have to try and figure out something else that people can focus on. And what was it? Maybe down the road we'll get more context on that. But you could argue like, oh, don't worry about the comp threats. They'll always be a threat. We got to get rid of the bigger personalities that are causing chaos, that are causing a lot of distrust. So in that realm, I could kind of understand the logic, but it really was just like, no, dude, you've literally won half the competitions at this point. So calling someone else a shield is an interesting idea. But I think if that's what Stevie was referring to, then that makes all the sense in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think the shield for Stevie really was the comp wins. That was what was keeping him, like, protected, I guess. And then obviously when you win a bunch of comps, it's hard to like make the relationships because you don't want to intrude because you've won, you don't have a vote. So like it wasn't really a shield type of situation is what I'm thinking.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember who else we got a soundbite for before.
We had a soundbite from Manny being like,
that's right.
I told you I'd target you like a week before this. I wasn't wrong. You don't screw with me. And yeah, no, Maddie was very much a hand in Ken's demise. So this is just accurate. This is outright just like, yeah, correct.
And Maddie really wanted to be a hand in Ken's demise. He really wanted it to be at his hands. So
Are you sure? Like, you never alluded to that at any point in time. There was never
never, ever. You saw them
not
hugging.
at all. Not the least. So we get into the episode, and what's the Captain's Challenge is target acquired? Is that what it was called?
Yes. Target identified.
Target identified. There you go. And this to me is like, when I saw this challenge, I said, oh, capital, no. I do not want to do this challenge, because it's basically set up to have people openly kind of show where they are having their allegiances to, or who they want to get rid of, who they want to knock out of the possibility of safety or becoming a captain. What was it? Duke, were you there when the challenge went on, or were you already setting up the next challenge?
I watched the beginning of it. I didn't stay till the end to see the kind of I feel like at the end of this challenge was kind of everybody was on the same page, kind of like figuring out who wanted to win or whatnot. But I did see a majority of it, which was I love these types of challenges, to be honest, because it's so fun to see what people will do and who people will, if they'll go and publicly target someone. It's great for, I think, TV to see these types of feuds, or if people want to start drama, or if people you got sound bites of, why is he putting this in my thing, why are they targeting me, that kind of stuff. So I love this kind of challenge as a viewer.
Did you play anything similar in season 5 or in season 4 for Rachel?
I did. Erica and I won this challenge in season 4. But it's interesting because this was our second or third Captain's Challenge. So it was fairly early in the season. And situationally, Matt and Jim kind of made themselves big targets. So that's where a lot of people were putting their things. Mm-hmm. But to have this challenge for you guys, like mid-ish type, almost mid-season, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting because like you've had plenty of time to like game. And I mean, I gotta say, at least from my perspective, it was not nearly as competitive as we expected it to be.
You mean you weren't expecting like 80% of the players to just walk the entire time?
I was gonna say, I knew y'all were gaming the game because of the first Captain's Challenge when you were drinking the water, but I didn't think you were gonna walk.
Well, I definitely want to hear Jack's perspective on this. I was walking because I was like, I just caught votes. I just had someone publicly target me. I'm going almost every time. I think with very few exceptions, anytime there was a focus or a shot of me, I was either standing at the crates or walking very slowly. I got legs for weeks, so I very much could have like done that entire stretch of grassland in like 5 strides if I wanted to. But I was like, I don't want anyone to know that I'm targeting them. I'm only dropping balls in the crates of people that I've already dropped a ball in mine. And then when that strategy kind of filled up, I was like, well, I'll just start on the opposite end, because I think alphabetically I was all the way on the right. So I just started at the far left and was like, I'll just slowly make my way over. And then people started eventually throwing balls in my crate, and I was like, well, what was it? Far be it from me to not return the favor. So yeah,
there you go.
Like, I'm not trying to make enemies. I'm not trying to. I wanted at any point in time, I want to be like, I only dropped one in yours because you dropped one in mine, and I was absolutely sandbagging the entire competition because I did not want to make an enemy.
I very much screwed up this challenge. I decided to run a little bit at some point and inadvertently target Reynolds, who then took that as a sign that I was going directly after him, even though that was not my intent. It was just to spread out the balls and be like, okay, who has the least at this point? Okay, it's Reynolds. I'm going to put a couple here. And unfortunately, he saw that as a direct attack and took me out of the challenge really, really fast. So it was not a good challenge for me overall.
I do remember, I can't remember exactly like when people started getting eliminated. I can't remember like how many balls did I have at that point. Because it did seem like, oh, this is one of those challenges where if you're in a good situation, you kind of want to be as diplomatic as possible because you don't want to piss anyone off. But also, I did notice that Reynolds was running, and I don't remember that from the day the challenge happened. And I just remember thinking, I remember watching the episode and be like, look at Reynolds. Look at Reynolds get his jog on. I was like, good for him. And the beauty being that he ends up winning the challenge as well, or he ends up getting captain from this. But I guess before that, we see kind of a mix of people kind of like come together. It's like who wants it, who doesn't want it. And oh, go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, we do have basically the top half of Molly, Lee, Reynolds, Alex, Derek, and Maddie just kind of like coalescing at one point and going, well, who wants to win this? And then a couple people just like kind of like, you can put it on mine, it's okay. Alex and Reynolds basically go, yeah, no, I kind of want this. So, and everyone else just kind of let it happen.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't mad.
Honestly, as you should. As you should.
I
like say, I want it.
I thought there was going to be far more pushback or far more people wanting it. So when everyone's like, oh no, I could never. Oh no, please, no, why? Oh no, after you. I'm just like, baby, give me safety. I thought for a moment, I was like, well, Ken's gone, so I should be safe. But I was like, you know what? If people are willing to give me a win, I'm going to take a win. Throw another notch on my threat level. I don't care.
So, Alex, during that, when there was like 4 or 5 people left, did you feel any of those? You mentioned yourself and Reynolds wanting to be the captains, but did you feel like any of the other 3 or 2 or 3 people were like giving you any friction towards maybe they wanted it too, but they weren't speaking out?
No, well, if they did a phenomenally Oscar-worthy, Oscar-deserving performance. Because I said it like a good 3 times, and I think they showed all 3 of them of me going, no one owes me anything. If anyone else wants it, let your case be known. Like, I honestly don't even remember Reynolds wanting it. I think, like, obviously he didn't just take himself out the way Maddie did. But yeah, no, I gave several opportunities where if someone was like, maybe I kind of want it, that they could have the opportunity to do so, but they did not. So
I think you also had a great kind of little pitch where you had just caught votes the last round. So I feel like that was something that people were like listening to, and also it was good to say that.
Well, thank you.
My question.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, my question for you, Alex, is there anybody in that kind of final group that you were hoping didn't get it or didn't want it?
There may have been at the time. I don't think so. I think what mattered. This is just where my backwards thinking with the format of Ascendance goes. Is it's just like if someone gets captain that you don't want to see get captain, unless you wind up on a team with them and they can throw it, which in a lot of the challenges we've seen this season, most of the captain's challenge or most of the team challenges, the captains don't participate. So it's like the worst they can do other than eventually vote for me is put me with people that might be interested in voting for me. But at this point, I'm feeling comfortable enough where I feel like depending upon where the numbers might lie or who the peoples are, I've got a reasonably good connection with everybody. And I think that was like the only hesitation I had in asking for captaincy, which was like, when I say hesitation, we're talking like 2.5 seconds, where I'm just like, am I going to make a bigger target for myself? And really, sorry, to answer your question succinctly, Rachel, we ramble because we love this. No, I wasn't really focused on not wanting someone else to get it. I was more focused on just wanting it for the sheer sake of, I know people are going to try and make me spiral because I got 2 votes, which wasn't going to happen because I'm still here, as I think the episode highlighted. But yeah, I was more so just wanting safety than trying to prevent anyone else from getting safety.
Got you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll be more succinct in my future answers. I half promise. Half promise. But
So, I mean, ultimately, we see it kind of whittle down. People slowly just kind of like volunteer and/or are forced out until it's Alex, Lee, Reynolds left over. And then Lee kind of is just like, okay, I think I'll be fine here. You can, Reynolds, you can take second. Alex, you can take first. And then we'll just go from there and see what happens.
yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, Alex is the confirmed winner at first. Obviously, we're at 13 people, meaning that we have no idea what the teams are going to break down as. Is it 2 teams? Is it 3 teams? Is it 4 teams? Like, genuinely, we have no idea. So, Alex, how are you feeling in that moment? Just like, I know I'm good. There's no one can take that away from me.
What was it? I promised to be succinct with my next answer, so here we go. I'm feeling good. At this point, I'm like, I feel like I've got a reasonably fair, if not good, connection with everyone in the game. The fact that we just won, or that I just won a kind of social, like, who do you feel good with competition, confirmed that. So at this point, I'm feeling good. I think there's an element of what do I do with these teams, but I also, as you saw in the episode, I was like, I don't care. Because I can pick a great team that loses, I can pick a horrible team that wins. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm safe.
And at least on my end, I was like, well, I have Alex who supported me and been like basically my number one to this point. And then I have Reynolds, who I inadvertently targeted and probably have pissed off during this challenge.
Now, walk us through how that felt watching him win the challenge.
Great to just like have that internal panic of, okay, I am 100% at a good chance of being targeted by Reynolds here, and I don't know what he's going to do with that. Yeah. Like, I know that Alex won't screw me over, but does Alex have enough pull to like not have Reynolds screw me? And
these are valid questions you asked yourself that I did not ask myself.
I think it's interesting, but it's also good, kind of, in a way that, like, you, Alex, Reynolds, and Lee ended up all being safe, essentially, in this round because Lee was not picked.
Right. Yeah. Which, what was it? I think it gets brought up in the episode. Sorry, were you done, Jack? I apologize.
Yeah, I was done.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What was it? At one point, Lee tells me, put me on a team with Reynolds, which I do mention in my little captain one-on-one. I'm like, well, this is interesting. Because we had all been in the same van. There was some semblance of van loyalty, even though Sedona went first, rest from tower. And yeah, that was definitely unique that he wanted to make sure he was on a team with Reynolds. So that's why I didn't pick him. I probably would have wanted to pick him. And hindsight being 2020, I probably should have picked him. But yeah, so yeah, the fact that all three of us were safe kind of did work out in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, well, let me just pull up the teams here while also just definitely forgot to do that before, but that's fine.
That's okay.
So we do have a very, very interesting split here with essentially the people who were influential in taking out Ken with Maddie, Antoinette, Rose, and then on the other side of that, basically Monty. And then it's myself and Maddie just kind of being like, well, this is going to end poorly if we're actually in trouble. And then we have basically everyone who's been doing well in comps above. So this is, Alex, as much as I love you, this is so unevenly balanced. This is a nightmare scenario.
Okay. I'm very shocked this has come up in this episode because I was absolutely convinced it would not. So there were people that I was very concerned about, And by people, I'd be lying if I'm not saying Maddie was one of them. So I was just thinking, oh, okay, great. But I was trying to work on my relationship with Maddie, so I was like, let me pick him. I basically was like, I'm sick of hearing, and I promise so hard that I'm going to try hard not to get on my soapbox this episode. I didn't want any of the girls to go, and I was worried if any of the girls weren't picked or were separated from the other two. I was so worried that they were going to become a target because our season, for whatever reason, just was allergic to estrogen. And then I wanted to pick you, obviously, because I adore you. And I wanted to make sure that if you were in any danger, that I could be an advocate for you to stay. So it wasn't until I looked at the lineup that I was like, oh yeah, if we win, this is everything. If we lose, I am the single dumbest captain this game has seen all season, if not in the entirety of the show. So, because I was like, no, they can't lose. They absolutely cannot lose. So, that also being said, you can give me flack for picking the team that I picked. I was Team Girl Power. I was Team Jack, and I thought there was a chance that Maddie would go if we lost. So clearly,
I had my first question of the night, my first strategic question, and it is posed towards Jack. I'm looking at this team. You mentioned it. It's a little stacked in terms of comp strength, right? I see Stevie on the blue team. Stevie has won every single team challenge up to this point. And I know that you have, the swap team's advantage in your pocket. Why not play it here is my question.
Thank you, Duke.
I forget that it is in my pocket. That is the genuine answer.
Unlikely story.
No, genuinely, I was in such mental distress over wow, I really fucked that last challenge up. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I just need to get through this. That honestly, I forgot it was in my pocket until I walked out, until basically I was downstairs during strategy and was like, oh shit, I could have stopped this at any point. So yeah, no, I very much screwed this up. I should have swapped teams here. As I said, it was situational, and unfortunately, this was the situation to use it.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is my choices were not so god awful that it made you go, oh. I'm kidding.
Who would you have swapped? Is my question.
Oh, good question.
Realistically, I think I swap Andrew because him and I are at least Sam and Stevie and Monty have proven themselves to be really, really good challenge threats. Derek as well. I think out of that entire team, Andrew and I are most evenly matched. So I think that just works out. So
now, Jack, you wouldn't have known what the actual challenge was before you could have used that power, right? No. Okay. So yeah, Ascendance goes so fast, and the rounds are right after each other, so it's tough to think of every single scenario while you're in the game. So, but that was one of my questions for you was, this seems like the perfect situation to do it. But yeah, it happens.
Correct. It was basically the perfect situation to use it, and just didn't. And that is one of my regrets this episode, is just not using him, because I will say that per the rules of Ascendance, you did not see me hand that advantage off. It is gone. You can consider that burned. So
you took it with you as a souvenir.
I took it with me as a souvenir.
I completely forgot about the swap team power. So that makes me feel slightly less guilty about the outcome of this episode. Sorry, Jack. But yeah, no, that this team situation just had, or my team picks had all the best intentions, but as we know about the road to hell, that's just what it's paved with. Yeah, I hate just looking at this. I'm like, what the actual hell was I thinking? And all I can say is, not enough is the short answer to that question. But
Hey, it ended up being a close challenge.
such a close challenge. Such a close challenge. We should probably hop into
Yep.
the challenge itself, because I think Lee Reynolds and I are all kind of roughly in the mindset of, oh, Alex's team cannot lose, or just dear God, do
Yes.
not let. Or at least in my mind,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I really need the red team to win, because seriously, I'm like, no, this is not anyone I'm trying to get rid of. And I think that was silently agreed upon, or I think that was silently unanimous amongst everyone. Like, what the hell was Alex doing? This is the worst. If we lose, it's the worst scenario ever.
It was definitely agreed on by Lee. Maybe Reynolds was a little fine with it happening based on what happened in the challenge.
Could be that.
But yeah, no. Basically, everyone was like, if the blue team loses, we have a great chance to pick off someone who's been a massive issue throughout this game. If the red team loses, it's gonna suck.
But yes, we
And
roll
it
in.
sucked.
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, yes, it did.
So we go into this challenge, and it's a bit of a not a relay race, but kind of a relay race, with a beanbag toss, balancing balls, walking around obstacles, and then what was it? Knocking off water bottles off of those remarkably comfy stools that we know and love. And then what was it? And then a final. They called it a Soma cube puzzle.
Yeah.
Is that what it's
Yeah,
Great
so-
equalizer. The great
Oh,
equalizer.
man. And so in my mind, I was like, we are going to channel the moon, the energy of the moon. We're going to challenge the energy of Venus. We're going to go into battle. We're going to crush this. And then the beanbags start. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
bad.
God. Oh, no. I'm like, Rose, you're one of my favorite people here. I need you to land these bags. Like, I need you to land them yesterday, please. Dear God in heaven, if you exist, please let these bags land. And they were just not landing.
Just brutal.
This was rough because the entire time blue team is a station ahead until literally we both get to the Soma cubes. And at that point, Monty probably has like a good minute or two on me. Monty also apparently knows the solution beforehand, where I just have to like intuit it on the fly. And I will say, I am good at most puzzles.
Yeah,
The
you are.
one type of puzzle I am not good at is spatial reasoning.
Oh, no.
And unfortunately, that's almost exactly what this is. Like, I know that I can get it done. I just was not confident in anything else.
Yeah.
And no one on that team knew how to solve it. So
That's a hard puzzle, I will say. Like, when we had to do it in season 4, we did it as a team, so it was a lot easier. But I did it in Ascendance Unplugged, and I decided I was in the same exact position you were, Jack, where I was like, I'll be the anchor, I'll do the puzzle. And it took me a hot minute, and that's the only time I've ever solved it by myself. So that shit is not easy. So even just stepping up to be in that position is tough. And looking at your team, love them all to death, but none of them look like puzzlers.
What does a puzzler look like, Rachel?
Jack
Use key facial features. No.
I mean,
Or should I say
think-
Rachel features?
Jack just gives off the energy that he, like, studies puzzles. I don't know. Maybe it's because,
you're unfortunately correct.
see, that's what I'm saying. Is like, you just give off that energy. And honestly, in this community, that's a good thing. And everybody is always thankful for their puzzlers.
Hello.
But yeah, no, this one just, it didn't come together. I was going through permutations as quickly as I could, but it just, Monty found it faster than me, and that was it.
Well, I remember, what was it? Because you hear Stevie mentioning, like, yeah, flip that and put that there. And I was like, was it a team situation? I don't remember. But when that happened and I saw that last piece go in on their puzzle, my heart dropped into my uterus. I was so absolutely devastated because I'm like, well, where to from here? Like, what in the flying universe happens? So good job to the blue team, but I'm still mad at the blue team.
I before we move off the challenge, I mean, I don't want to call anybody out, but
Call them out.
Antoinette, I mean, what are we doing? Just throw it at the bench, knock all the bottles off in one shot. Am I right or am I wrong?
I eventually, like, after we were there for so long, I literally just not scream at her, but like very much impassioned say, throw it at the fucking stool. Like at a certain point we were all like, girl, just throw it at the stool, please. Please. I love you, but please.
If I got to a point and I that's gonna be too shady, never mind. It was hard to watch. It was like I don't know, maybe throw it over your shoulder and maybe you'll have more of a connection with these freaking bottles. I love you, Antoinette. I love you, Rose. Y'all are amazing.
The girls and their accuracy. We're just girls.
There was a moment of is me championing for the females in this game? Is it really just going to cost this right now? Come on, women, let's do this. Anyway, but I say this all with love, of course. But yeah, I was just like, please knock these over. Please knock these over. Please land these sandbags. Like dying on the inside. Absolute dying.
I just want to make it clear. Every single one of us did not want to do a throwing thing. We all knew we sucked at it. And it was just like, oh, great. We have to have two of them. This is not going to go well. And of course,
so nobody could throw. Nobody could puzzle. Y'all were a little bit screwed.
I was
it was just.
That also to be said, I feel like if Jack had a reasonable amount of time on the puzzle, I say Jack gets it. So
I think with a little more time, I was at least close. I had at least one piece off multiple times, but granted, a Soma cube can get so close so many times, it's just like, nope, still wrong.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it was very painful. Where it was like between the throwing, I didn't realize throwing something that comes fairly natural to me. Like I can't throw far or hard, but accuracy I'm decent. Depending upon what's being thrown. And again, when you pick teams, you have no idea what the challenge is. But I just remember sitting there going.
At one point, I was like, Antoinette, throw with your other hand. I think throw with the other hand.
Yeah.
Kick it. Like throw it in the air and kick it towards the target.
This was not Antoinette's best round, I will say.
That's okay.
Well, best round in terms of comp ability, no. I would say that she did pretty well during the strategy.
Oh yeah. I was if everyone's good on the challenge, we can definitely hop into
easily the most emotional strategy session we've had yet, if not potentially ever, with everyone being in tears by the end of it.
Oh my god.
Record numbers. I've never seen something like it.
That says a lot. Coming from season 4 with all the tears, like y'all really showed us up with that one.
Oh my god! Well, I've watched Ascendance live seasons 1, 4, and 5, and I don't remember any elimination in any of those seasons where this many people cried.
Yep.
I was so remarkably.
Alex, I think you were one of the only people not to cry this round. Yeah.
I didn't cry this round, and I lost one of my closest allies. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Hold it together, people.
I'm sitting here going, well, I think Maddie had the best quote of the episode, I feel, where he's like, I'm about to lose an ally or I'm about to get voted out. And I'm not crying. And I'm sitting here like, why is everyone crying? And then Lee, I think, had the confessional comment of, y'all know there are other options on the table, right?
That's what I didn't understand, was that everyone was so upset and everyone was crying. And then everybody in their confessionals was like, I don't understand why everybody's crying. It's like, make up your mind.
Right. So, and that's where I'm like, I don't get it. And I think this was the round where I'm literally like, yeah, I'm potentially going to have to start really paying closer attention to these relationships. Because I thought in my head, like, oh, I'm going to have perfectly good reasons for wanting to vote out Maddie. Because it does get brought up to my attention. Apparently I was the last horse to cross the finish line that Maddie had a pendant. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this man has a pendant he can't even use this round? Of course he's going out. We're not going to vote out Jack, who's been vulnerable every single round. It was such a cut and dry foregone for me that Jack was going to stay. And then when I start noticing everybody's crying, I'm like, what? Do we like Maddie this much? I'm so confused. Why is everyone crying so damn much?
I remember, I think I filmed the conversation where Maddie was like, yeah, well, everyone's wary of my pendant. And Alex is like, you have a pendant? And he was like, oh, I thought everybody knew. And you're like, no.
Yeah, and that was like, here's the thing I'll never understand, because what locked me in that he was lying about the conditions of the pendant was I said, well, you can't. He said I can't use it, and I was like, why not? And then he just went for like a good 5 seconds, and then he was like, oh yeah, it's the number of people, and I was like, that's such a brilliant lie if you came up with it that quickly. But if that's it, why did he wait so long? Why was there such a long pause before he said it? So that's when I was like, yep, you had a pendant, didn't tell me about it. You thought everyone knew and didn't talk to me about it. And now I feel like you're lying. So that's when I was like, I'm good. Like, and not that Jack was ever in danger with me, but I was just like, this ain't it. And then all the girls, I think between the girls and then also Reynolds, it was just Jack. And I was like, well, I got to pivot because I'm not voting for Jack. I don't mind voting in the minority, as we've seen. But that was so frustrating. And then to see everyone cry, I was like, but there's other people to vote for. And by other people, I mean Maddie. But
I think the issue with it, and I can even see it in retrospect, I was so against saying Maddie's name. And to be honest, I don't think I even knew Maddie had a pendant at that point. I think I was basically told that round, but by that point, I had already thrown out Antoinette's name and knew that if I had thrown out another name, it wouldn't have worked. I already threw out a name and people already saw it as a problem. So I very much just had to lock in and go, yeah, no, it's Antoinette, and there's not much I can do about it. I've already said it. So
my big question for Alex, I think, in this round was, because I thought, Alex, you were a pivotal person in this vote because you were, number one of the many people that were not crying. You were kind of like, you had it together. But I wanted to ask you, Alex, did you ever connect with Lee and talk about the potential of voting for Matt? Because it seemed like Lee also wanted to be on that side.
Yeah. I'd love to say with confidence what was going through my head at that time and who I spoke to in that round. A lot of it's kind of a blur, and a lot of it I'm sure I've just forgotten. I know that I went into the vote. I feel like I had to have spoken to Lee because I went into the vote thinking there was a chance that Jack was going, but thinking, okay, I've made a very decent case as to why Maddie should go. And just kind of seeing the vote go out the way that it did. To answer your question and to keep it succinct, I really don't remember if I talked to Lee or what that conversation even looked like off the top of my head. That also being said, Lee in our Discord last week was like, well, no one wanted to vote for Maddie. And I'm like,
right.
Did we not talk?
You
and
did.
Also, I voted for Maddie. So yeah, some of that could be hindsight. Some of that could just be Lee just being hyperbolic. Whatever the case may be, I don't recall. I remember saying I'm not voting for Jack, and I remember not voting for Jack. And what was it? The episode seems to recall what I rember, but yeah.
It's so interesting.
I think I could. What I did see, and I saw in the episode where I'm just like, because I, without realizing it, I put Jack in the situation that he was in by picking the team that I picked. But also, I didn't do enough to. I was still at the point of the game where I was like not wanting to push much, where I was really just wanting to be kind of a safe space for everybody. And for Jack's sake, that very easily could have and should have been around where I was like, hey, this is what I think we should do. And I should have been far more definitive. Because because at that point I was still like, well, this is what I'm doing, and just kind of hoping that I made a good enough case. I don't usually rely too much on this is what we need to do, or this is what needs to happen. Just because in history, when I've done that, that's when I get blindsided, or the round after, since I was immune this one. So I was just resting on the laurels of doing my own thing, letting other people, letting other people do their thing. But yeah, I was just, I watched the episode and was just like, I was advocating for Jack, but not in a way that was beneficial to Jack.
I personally thought that you did a perfect job. I thought that you made the point of, Maddie has this conditional pendant. We can get him out right now. I remember you saying that to people. I just don't understand why. I guess I don't really understand why Jack was fighting so hard to get Antoinette out rather than Maddie.
I am not.
It seemed like Maddie was your out this round. And
Maddie was in fact my out, and I was too loyal. I for some reason, I just couldn't do it. And I think it was just like, if I do this, I'm burning all of my options. Sam had said Infinite's name last round. I thought that might have had a bit of traction. I couldn't do it.
Well, you had played with Maddie in a game prior to this one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And part of Maddie, me thinks that the way, like the fact that it didn't work as much as you wanted it to was because at this point in the game, I believe is when the girls thing started becoming more important and more apparent and relevant to people's games, that like in that vote specifically with that team, there was no way that one of the three girls would end up going if they decided to continue to stick together. So Maddie really was your out. But I totally get, like, in the mindset, you're like, Maddie seems like one of the few people who I know I've had since the beginning. So you're like, I can't do that. And then knowing he has a pendant, you're like, there's always the thought of, oh, maybe like we can use the pendant in a way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jack.
Simply put, I was too laser focused on one option and didn't consider any others.
And that, that's Ascendance. Like, I feel like that's how I went out in my season. I was laser focused on one option in this round. And I feel like if I had listened to maybe a close ally of mine, instead of just gung-ho on one person, things could have been different. But yeah, I really did think that there were numbers there to get Maddie out. But just everyone was not on the same page there.
Yeah, you were in the camp of fools like myself who thought the same thing. Because I was like, I don't see any logic in getting rid of Jack at this point. But also I was working with Jack, so clearly my bias notwithstanding. But yeah, he's right there. And especially if it's true and it's conditional. I thought it was a lie that it was conditional. I just thought he was about to play it. At the very least, I'm like, we can at least burn it. And whoever Maddie votes for, it potentially would have landed on Jack. But I was like, at least that thing is burned. And if he's telling the truth, get rid of it now so we can't use it next round. So absolutely baffling. And for whatever reason under the sun, just Maddie, he's great at the game. That's as far as I can break it down. Maddie is darn good at the game.
Yeah.
Jack, I wanted to ask you. You at one point you go and try to give your power away for Molly's vote. I thought that was a good move. I just thought that you were doing that to probably the worst person in this vote, because it seems like she's so close to Maddie at this point in the game. Did you ever think about doing the same thing maybe to somebody else to try to garner their vote?
I was trying to use any sort of strategies that I could. I was like, I don't have a good relationship with Molly, so let me sweeten the pot and attempt to just get something out of it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have like a relationship I can work down with like Lee. So let me see if I can get his pity vote. Let me see if I can just do something with like a multitude of people. And I just I don't think I would have offered it to anyone else because I don't think it would have worked as nicely. But yeah.
So Jack. Sorry, I was just making notes about something I need you to cut later. What was it, Jack? At this point, who are you feeling like the closest to as far as like these are the people I'm sure I got the votes of, people I could have the votes of, and the people like I'm probably not getting a vote for them to stay from them to stay.
I mean, I kind of knew just based on how conversations were going, people were not considering it. They wouldn't be crying if they were genuinely considering doing Antoinette. They would have just accepted it. So, I mean, I knew I had basically lost Rose's vote. By Molly rejecting it, I knew I had lost her vote. I knew I had lost Antoinette's vote. I knew that I had lost Reynolds' vote. So at best, it is a 4-4. And I knew people were not willing to go to rocks for it. So realistically, I knew I was done. I knew there wasn't really a shot. And I just, like, that's why you can kind of see, like, my conversations turn to, like, when I get back in this game, can you strike a deal with me now so it looks like 6-2 or it looks like 5-3? Because, like, I'm assuming there's some sort of battle back competition or something similar, and I just want to be like, hey, I'm the one that out of everyone there right now, maybe except Ken, is going to be the biggest, most likely to come back into the house if it's some sort of puzzle or something like that. So, like, I'm going to assume this round is a wash. When I come back, what deal are you making?
That's a good way to look at it.
That's a fabulous way of looking at it. I just was not a part of those conversations because watching it back was so hard, as your ally and as your friend, but also the amount of just why are these people having meltdowns about this vote? It just doesn't. The math ain't mathin', but it felt like every other conversation you were having. It just felt like you were Old Yeller and they were getting ready to take you out back. It was so horrible watching that. And I can only imagine for you experiencing that had to have been rough. No pun intended.
Yeah.
That was good, Alex. That was good.
And accidental. I didn't mean to say that.
Jack, when you were talking to Lee and Lee was crying and then you left, was he fake crying? Did he like look at the camera?
He had confirmed to me that he was in fact fake crying. Now,
that manipulative bitch.
So you can, if you watch the end of that clip, you can see Lee's tears almost immediately dry up the moment I'm not looking at him. And now, granted, was he out of tears? Was any of it real? Did he really feel bad? Was it the emotions of the general moment with everyone else crying? Maybe. But I do believe, at least on his end, it was partial strategy of like, oh, I feel so bad. No, Jack, I really wanted to work with you. When you come back from the battle back, like, yeah, no, that's going to be so nice to appease you and everything. It was a bunch of fluff to him. I could almost feel it.
He gave a little smirk to the camera, and I was like, "This
man
is a full-on devil."
Diabolical was the only word I had. Absolutely diabolical. And to his credit, Lee is remarkably great at partitioning his brain to this is game. Like, he is phenomenal at that. Yep. And we've seen that pretty much since episode 2. So I live and breathe, but also I'm like, I can be aloof and I can like say things that I don't particularly mean. I can't fathom fake crying for someone that I know I'm about to vote out. Like, I can't.
And it's a different perspective when you're not the one that he's fake crying about.
Right.
Like, I feel like for Jack too is like, oh, like that cuts deep because it's like you're pretending to care about me.
The thing with
I'm
Lee,
just-
though, up to this point is like he's been throwing his vote on every single vote. He's causing all this chaos. It's like I think he's just doing that for everyone. He's just an agent of chaos.
He is, but he
Yeah.
also makes for fantastic TV for sure.
Oh my god, it's wonderful! It's wonderful.
Like, oh man, like I feel like if you're casting an actual show, you want like 16 to 20 Lees before.
Yeah.
That could be a lot. That could be a lot. But yeah,
It could be, but it would be entertaining. Can't say it would be a boring season, but I also noticed maybe they just didn't use it, or maybe it was just too brief because I probably just told you you're good with me, so don't waste your time trying to campaign. But yeah, the fact that you were in danger, I was like, but why? So, yeah.
It just wasn't happening.
It's so frustrating watching this episode back just because I'm revisiting probably like my most frustrated I was in this entire game was losing you. So
It was very much giving a traditional survivor swap screw circumstance.
yeah, it's great.
Genuinely just wrong time, wrong place.
mhm.
There were so many other rounds where I realistically should have gotten more heat or more votes, but like this was just an inescapable trap. Everyone kind of just like looked at each other and went, "It's probably Jack here," and that was it. It was decided real quick, and there was very little I could have done.
You weren't particularly in a bad spot at as a big picture of the game, which is why it was
Right.
so like emotional, I guess, is because people didn't expect to have to pull that trigger in that moment.
Yeah, and I
Although-
mean,
It's tough to hide in five, like when only 5 people are eligible to be voted too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was rough to watch back. One, because I am an ugly crier, and
You're not an ugly anything, Jack.
two, because of what the fuck kind of shirt was I wearing? What was I thinking? Like, Jesus Christ, I burned that thing.
You should have put back on Flamingo Boy.
I should have, because that
Not
was a nicer
Flamingo.
shirt. But like ultimately, I very much was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of impressed by how well I fought. Like I did try to pull out all of the stops, and I mean, looking back on it, I am happy. I'm happy with how the round went, except for me pitching Antoinette instead of Maddie. But even then, I don't think that changes anything.
Yeah.
I think maybe then it shifts to like 2 votes on the Maddie, or at best I get 3.
Yeah.
There's no way Maddie goes. So,
I don't think, because I don't remember ever telling you, or maybe I just told you I'm not voting for a girl because, you know, we all know from previous rounds that's just how I felt. But I don't even remember you pitching Antoinette to me. So yeah, that's why I think like if I had said, well, I can't vote for, if I had known you were thinking of voting for Antoinette, I feel like I would have told you just vote for Maddie because that's probably your infinitely better bet. So that's on me / no offense, kind of both of us for not checking in, because I think in my mind I was like, Jack's good with me. Don't waste your time pitching to stay safe with me because you are. But yeah, if I had known you were throwing out Antoinette's name, I would have been like, no, don't, absolutely not. Because at that point, it's either going to be a 6-1-1, at the very least, it's going to be a 6-2, and then we can try and pull other people together. But yeah, I do remember it was towards the very tail end of strategy that I realized, oh, this might be going on Jack. And at that point, I remember thinking, I have barely any time to talk to anybody about it. So
I personally thought that your route to safety this round would have been yourself, Alex, Lee, and then Rose and Antoinette voting Maddie. I thought because Lee has a connection at this point in the game with Antoinette. We've seen it in past episodes. If you don't throw out her name first, I feel like there's maybe a way where Lee and Antoinette vote together, and then it seemed like you had a good connection with Rose in this round. So I feel like maybe you get her to vote out Maddie as well. But yeah. I didn't realize how significant the challenge was with Reynolds, where you kind of pissed Reynolds off. So I didn't know that was a big thing. That's tough.
I had no idea either that you would even targeted Reynolds. I didn't know that's why he was running. No idea. I was like, look at Reynolds get his steps in. I'm proud of him.
Cardio king. Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. It sucks with the hindsightness of it all, just because I nearly.
You fought like hell, Jack. You fought like hell. I'll tell you that much.
Sure,
and you were up against the wall almost from the beginning of the game. I mean,
literally from the beginning.
Were you unsafe every single round in the game?
Starting round 5, I was the only player who had never been safe at some point.
That's exhausting.
So, yeah, no, I mean 2 full days of just constant, and not even like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Your name's not even being thrown out. No, 4 of those 6 rounds, my name is at least mentioned. Yeah. If not, like, directly gets voted. So, I mean, I feel like at that point I was running on empty, and it was just, if anything, it was kind of the time, like, if I couldn't get it done, it makes sense storyline wise for me to go anyway. So,
I disagree, but
I fought a good fight.
Heartbreaking nonetheless.
Yeah. Very, very heartbreaking. I was going to ask Rachel, what was it like for you being in, I imagine you were probably in at least one room where people are crying and breaking down about the Jack vote. What was that? Were you involved in any of those rooms? And if so, what was that like for you?
I definitely was. And honestly, I felt for all of you as like a player, because I was hands down one of the top 3 criers on my season. So I definitely understand all of the emotion. But what puzzled me, and I mentioned this earlier, is that everybody was like crying and so upset, but then they were all like, why is everybody crying? So I was like, at this point, I'm trying to figure out, oh, is this really crying? Is this fake crying? Like, who's really hurt down deep to their core and who's like not? Because then I'm pretty sure I was the one in the room filming when Lee smiled up at the camera, and I was like, oh, so is he actually upset? So it was very interesting to try and figure out if the tears, what magnitude of upsetness the tears were bringing.
Yeah.
Some may never know.
Mm-hmm. Some may never know. But yeah, I mean, I managed to make Molly cry. I managed to make Rose cry. I managed to make Antoinette cry. I managed to make Lee fake cry.
Yeah.
So every single woman left in the game, and Lee, I managed to make cry in a single round, along with myself multiple times.
Crazy.
I'm a great person. But yeah, no, I mean it's so funny looking back on it, because I'm not gonna lie, I was full on dreading this episode of like, I know I'm going to look like an absolute fool, and it's just I know that I screwed up this round, and no, I got a favorable edit.
I loved your edit. I mean, granted, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Like I'm just shocked.
Oh no, I think it says something, because I don't recall tears at any of the other eliminations, but like the fact that people were voting for you and were that level of devastated to do it, that speaks such remarkable volumes about you, Jack. Like 120%. Like you are such such a gem and such a joy. And normally we do the love gush sesh towards the end, which at this point I feel like we're close to.
We're close to, because there isn't much left.
There really isn't much left. I'm proud of us. We're at an hour 10. I'm like, oh my gosh, we might shatter our record by 10 to 15 minutes. So before we get into the lovey gushy stuff, do we want to talk about the actual vote breakdown? Oops.
Yes.
This is why you don't talk with your hands, kids. Don't talk with your hands.
So here is our lovely vote breakdown. It is a 6-1-1 vote. Antoinette, Lee, Maddie, Molly, Reynolds, and Rose all a vote for me. I vote for Antoinette, and Alex, keeping to your word, votes for Maddie.
You know, it's fun being by myself in my regular hinky votes that I do in this game. It's fun, but it's a little less fun when I have someone that I adore, such as you, Jack, getting the boot this round. That was not a fun experience. For obviously wasn't fun for me, but definitely was not fun for you. But yeah, it's so funny looking at the vote results right next to each other, because it is very all by myself.
I do have a question though for you,
Yeah.
Jack, because I know that you definitely did not want to vote Maddie. Was there any inkling that Maddie felt that same way about you, and do you think that Maddie could have hopped on one of the other trains? I know he was close to the girls, but seemingly with your relationship, and I don't remember if you told him straight up, like, I'm not gonna do you. Do you think that was ever a possibility?
I don't think I ever told Maddie I wasn't going to vote for him, because I wasn't even like considering it. I told Rose that I wasn't voting for her because it felt like that was maybe what people, I don't know why, but maybe people were looking at it of like, that's an option. So that's why I immediately went to her like, hey, your name is off the table for me. I think ultimately Maddie and I did have an understanding of like, hey, if your best move is to vote the other person out, don't randomly sacrifice your game for someone you went pre-jury in a different game with. Like it doesn't make any sense to do it. If Maddie had voted with me and had gotten flack for it in future rounds, I think that would have made me feel worse. Of like, you know, I would have inadvertently had led to Maddie getting a lot more trouble than what Maddie was already in. So like,
that is true.
I think Maddie absolutely made the right decision.
Well, I love the emotional maturity and the way that you view that situation. I feel that's generally how I always try and play it. Like, don't sink your game to try and save my ass. But, yeah. So it sounds like there wasn't like any negative feelings about Maddie voting for you. Were there any players that you maybe met this game? I know Rose had mentioned like you're off the table for me. She ended up voting for you. Did you have any kind of like, not that I'm trying to stir the emotional pot, but was there anyone that you either felt let down by or kind of bummed out? Like, man, I really thought when my back was against the wall, this person might have vouched for me. Anything like that?
I mean, to be honest with you, no.
Good.
I'm the first person, and we even saw it in episode 3, where I'm like, I tell Veronica, who threw me under the bus, you did what you had to do, and I'm proud of you for it.
Yeah.
I would never want someone to harm their own game in order to like give me a fighting chance. Even though that's exactly what I told Lee, but that was intentional strategy of like, I'm going to see if I can drum up a vote this way and then continue the swing. Yeah. So, I mean, I knew that you had misvoted multiple times, so I was like, I assume Alex is probably not going to vote for me to go because he likes me enough. But I kind of expected everyone else to be voting for me here.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I had a question for Alex. Alex, during the Papa does this thing where he's like, you know, Does anybody have anything that they'd like to say or any powers they want to play or whatnot? And Maddie actually takes out his power, I think, his pendant of power, or the card, whatever. And I feel like he was going to show it to you, and then you said, I just want to know what happened there, because I don't know if we really got to hear what you guys were saying, or if you got to actually look at the power.
Well, he showed the pendant, and it was, I think he was showing it to me to be like I'm showing you that it is conditional. And it was right before the vote. And I was very kind of in the moment, just going, what's happening? So I remember looking down at his paper, and then I looked back up, and then he had put the power away before I could even read it. Right. So for me, I was like, well, he had no way of knowing that I can get easily distracted. I take that back. He had every way of knowing that because he played the game with me as long as we did. So, I think he pulled it out, and I still was just like, sir, anything you tell me about this pendant now is so remarkably late to me caring, or to me not wanting to be like, yeah, dude, you're telling me right before the vote where I find out about this pendant that people knew from night 1. So at this point, I'm like, this is the 3rd elimination after you find this pendant, and I'm now finding out that you have it.
Right.
I was like, sir, no. So that was that as far as that, or how that moment kind of played out in my mind, because it really was just like a blink and you miss it kind of moment.
Yeah.
And I'm also that person thinking, or wait, no. I was a captain this round, so I was safe. Never mind.
Interesting.
But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was an interesting. I didn't know, because it was interesting because you were in this episode really gung ho after what that was, and I was wondering if you ended up being able to see exactly what it was once he showed.
Yeah, no, I did see that it was a pendant.
Nice.
And that's really all that I saw. And then, like I said, if anything, I was like, we need to vote this man out before he can use this pendant. But obviously, I was in the extreme minority of people who felt that way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well said.
Well said.
Well,
yeah.
here. Should we drop the vote results? And what were you saying, Rachel?
I was saying there's a battle back.
Yes.
I don't know that that's been confirmed, has it?
It has actually been confirmed. It was confirmed a couple of hours ago when we're recording this, and will 100% have been confirmed by the time this is posted.
Hey.
So
okay.
I can confirm that the first 6 players of the game are indeed battling back. 1, 2, 3, who knows, will make it back into the game. Maybe no one will. We don't know how this battle back is going to work yet. So, simply put, this is going to be a very interesting set of circumstances. I think if you look at the first 6 boots, every single person has a genuine reason why they would go back into the game and what they would bring. So it's going to be very, very interesting regardless of who makes it back.
Yeah.
Definitely, for
So
sure.
for people who may be struggling, we have Sedona, we have Charlie, we have Veronica, we have Marshawn, we have Ken, and now our most recent dearly departed Jack, all fighting back for an opportunity to make their way back into the game. And yeah, I think it goes without saying who I'm rooting for in this situation, but it's
Sedona.
Also yes. So
Yeah.
Drop your predictions in the comments below.
there you go.
There we
Who's
go.
coming back in the battle back? And it's like, and depending upon what type of challenge, if it's a cube making challenge, ooh.
We don't know
If
about
it's a
that
cube
one.
making challenge, no one is coming back.
But if it's an
Probably
ice sucking challenge,
Oh, baby.
If it's an ice sucking challenge, I've already lost my dignity. So
Which means that you're not going to be scared to do it twice.
I was gonna say you did it once and it's on the internet, and let's the harm in it happening twice.
Once, twice, 3 times, an ice sucker.
I just want to make it clear, whoever put the ice sucking clip right behind I wasn't able to show my intelligence, wild decision, and I will be suing. Because, Jesus fuck.
I
was
pride
unintentional.
myself fully in editing that entire challenge, and I stand by it.
I truly, truly feel that if that does not buy Jack an all-star ticket,
Right?
nothing, there should not be an all-stars if Jack's not on it purely for that clip. That being said, what was it? Only because we're hitting the 120 mark. Jack, I think you have probably one of the most emotional eliminations or reactions to being eliminated in any LRG I've ever witnessed, played in, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I think you can see my face like drop. It's like I'm trying to smile through a frown because I'm just like, because I'm so annoyed and I'm so mad that you just got voted off. But I also want to say your elimination speech was like a good 5 minutes. Rachel, keep me honest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It was, it definitely was. But it was definitely honestly needed, and a lot of players definitely felt like it resonated with them and appreciated your vulnerability and your just well-spokenness, if that's a word. It's going to be a word now. So props to you for that. Yeah, articulation is the word.
I got a lovely message in the cast server while this was being edited. I think either from Papa or Rachel being like, your exit is 5 minutes long. What is wrong with you, you attention whore? Like, and I'm just like, yeah, no, you're right. There is a hard cut where I hug every single person in that room. And that speech, Papa's like, wrap it up. It's so much. But, I mean, I am someone who is very emotional. I think that's obvious. But I don't even try to it doesn't get me much to start crying. Just like in general, it's not even like sadness or anything. It is just my eyes decide, no, we're going to start crying because that's probably the socially right thing to do. I'm like, dude, this is your 5th false alarm this week. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I know I start crying in basically any circumstance, so it doesn't shock me at all. I cannot wait to get the LRG Crybaby Award this year.
You earned it.
You got some contenders for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? We definitely have contenders from our season of Ascendance Live for sure. Well, before we go into just the absolute tidal wave of love that you not only are going to get but also deserve, any final thoughts as far as your time in the game?
I mean, I said it while I was there. I didn't feel like I did everything I wanted to. I never won a challenge, which when I had played Ascendance before, I was able to do a couple times. And like what I had kind of been known for when I played other games was my ability to win comps. And I felt like I just couldn't get a foothold socially. I didn't feel like I had played the game that I wanted to. And I kind of left with my tail between my legs, like, I wish so many things had gone differently. I wish so many different decisions had gone differently. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in the battle back. But, I mean, as I was saying down there, like, I had a fire in my heart because I was like, I haven't played Ascendance yet. I haven't done what I wanted to yet. If I can do it, I will get back in that game.
All that fire and passion.
Play the game before the game plays you, my man.
There you go.
Shit. We got motion.
Yeah. That's about where we end it.
I was going to say, well, not quite, only because I do want to kick the love fest off and just saying, Jack, I'll never get sick of saying it. I absolutely adore you. I truly, truly appreciated not only your presence in the game, your impact on the game, but just whenever you were around me, I just felt so just connected to the ground and to earth, and I can't put it into words how invaluable that sort of thing is. You have such a calming presence. You you make me remember that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to wear your heart on your sleeve. Both of things are things that, or both of which are things that I don't really struggle with often. But no, to me, you were one of the gems of the seasons, and in my humbly unbiased opinion, you're one of the stars of the show. I couldn't be more thrilled to be on this journey with you of recovering Ascendance Live Season 6. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I hit the lottery in making an ally with you, and I also just hit the lottery just by knowing you as a person. So thank you for just being everything that you are. So, and with that, I shall pass. Release the hearts.
Jack, just like knowing that because there's a lot of people in this Ascendance community who play the online game and decide to come play in person, myself included. It's a special experience, and I really do hold all of my Ascendance friends very close to my heart. And you are somebody that I didn't necessarily expect to get as close to post-game as I did, and I'm so thankful that I have you in my inner circle now in life. And I mean, like Alex said, you just have such a calming presence, and every conversation, whether it be about something serious or about something completely stupid and unserious, it just leaves me with a good feeling, and that's an amazing trait to have, and I hope you carry that with you forever and kick ass in this battle back. No matter what happens, you should be so proud of yourself because you came here off of your fucking computer and kicked ass like other motherfuckers couldn't do. So props to you for that.
Hell yeah, Jack. I will say, Jack, it's been extremely fun watching you and recapping, the first 6 or I guess 5 episodes of the season with Scott, who you played, the online with. So it's been fun watching your journey. You fought like hell, like we mentioned here. You were not safe the entire time. So that's extremely difficult and tiring, I can imagine. And you gave it your all. And yeah, I hope, it's been fun watching both you and Alex do this recap. It's been really fun for the channel. I've enjoyed all your guys' interviews, so keep going.
Yes.
That I don't know what else to say, but thank you. Honestly, the whole thing I've been thinking about is Scott last episode of Lost at Sea was like, wow, I can't wait to see how Jack gets through this next time. It's like literally right after I saw that, I texted Duke and was like, he can skip this episode. He doesn't need to see it. But yeah, I mean,
we're gonna have fun recapping this week with Scott. Yeah.
I've gained so many friends off of this game. I had always known I wanted to play, and due to college, I never could. I was looking to go for season 5, but it fell too hard in line with with literally the end of my graduation. So I was like, I can't. And then I thought it was over. So I never was going to get to play this game. So to find out that I was able to play it, I got to play it. And even if it didn't go the way I wanted, I still got to go out and experience everything and meet everyone that I had known for years. It did mean a lot. So, I mean, to the entire team behind the scenes, thank you so much for the game you put on. Throughout these 6 episodes that I did get to play, I am really, really thankful for what I got to do.
once in a lifetime.
Exactly, once in a lifetime. And now next season, I get to, you know, if we do a next season, which we'll see
Fingers
at the moment.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. Now I'm gonna try and convert and bring people in that I had known for years and are ready to take on the game.
Fuck yeah.
It's like good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. On that note, unless anyone has anything else they want to say,
Who wants cake?
Anybody want cake?
Anybody want cake?
God damn it, dude! God fucking damn it! That is a deep cut. That is like
that's Ascendance lore.
If you remember that, it is insanity. That is my boot line from Ascendance All Stars Online.
That's hilarious.
I penned it you out.
You did. I think I was going there regardless almost.
Why didn't y'all tell me this so I could bring it up every 5 seconds?
No, I couldn't do that on his boot episode. No, that's crazy.
Oh, that's fair. Well, I did forget one thing. I did forget, and Jack, forgive me for saying it, but it is a cute little thing to go out on. When you said what I think it was the line that made Reynolds kind of turn to the camera when you were like, "I don't want to take anyone's dream away." I was like, I don't want to get super meta about this. I don't know that playing in an LRG has ever really been a dream for me. I'm not going to take away anyone else's dream or diminish anyone else's dream. But I thought that was the single funniest thing of the entire episode.
I had basically put myself in the mindset that it was $1 million and I need to fight for it. So that was full delusion of like, I need to just keep going. And Reynolds looking to the side, it's like, yeah, no, that's fair. Insane sentence to say, yeah, I wanted to always play Ascendance Season 6 live. Like, no, I'm so sorry. Funny. I love you, Papa and Nicole. And if this is the last episode, fair. But it was a dream to come out and play, but it's not like the greatest thing on my bucket list.
No, and I think everyone with eyes and ears that work realized that was what you meant. It just sounded really, really funny.
Yeah.
It was in the moment. When you're in the moment.
It was an in the moment situation for sure. And it's like, and I don't say like it's funny, like, haha, I'm laughing at you. It was just that's so sweet. Like, Jack is my favorite teddy bear on the planet, so, and I'm here. I'm here for it, and I'm here for you. Here's to living out our dreams. That being said, I think we can cut it here. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, Rachel and Duke, for joining us. What was it? You two are both icons, not only within the Ascendance realm, but also just the org and LRG communities as well. So happy and so honored to have you both here. Thank you for taking time out of your schedules to talk to us. Jack, as always, just a dream doing this with you. And I know I already mentioned it in the episode, so I'll keep it brief. You are the wind beneath my wings at all times, and I love you.
Thank you guys so much for having us. Like, this was super fun. I loved getting to see your faces. I know it's been a bit. And I can't wait to keep watching the episodes and the recaps because I'm so here for it.
I can't wait for y'all to see the remainder of what we have this season. But thank you all so much for being here. Duke, I can't remember if you said something or not yet.
No, thank you for having me. Like I said earlier, I enjoyed watching your guys' thing, your show, and you guys keep getting better, every single week. So keep it up.
Well, thank you to all three of you for jumping on. If you haven't already, please check out the Descendants, literally on this same channel, done by Duke. It is about 30 minutes, which, I mean, if you're this far in, you can watch 30 minutes of dense strategy, where both of them have made really good points, both Duke and Scott, one of the people that I played with and or fought with on my original season of Ascendance. But
we love our sister podcast. Sorry.
Other than that, thank you all for being here. We will see you next week with the results of said battle back and who the next person eliminated or people eliminated from Ascendance on. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.